Welcome to Deer Head Studios. This is 40 Below Zero, an international podcast about living with multiple sclerosis. I'm your co-host, Nick, and with me as always is my good friend, Terry. We're so glad all of our fellow MS warriors and supporters are here with us, so let's get into it. Welcome back to the studio. Hey, Terry, how's it going?
Man, I'm awesome. How are you doing today?
I am very happy to be back in the studio. I gotta say that I did not like having a week off.
What's going on, man?
Well, I was really bummed out because, we missed that interview, or it was an interview week and we missed that interview week. And that really, got me down, but I lost my voice.
Yeah, so what's going on?
I had an allergy attack and I legitimately couldn't talk for about 4 or 5 days, which is why I kind of dropped off. So I'm very happy that everyone's back here with us. I'm very happy that everybody stuck with us. So yeah, I'm better now, obviously.
I hate to say it, and everyone says the same thing to me, man. Health is first.
Mm-hmm.
But that's crazy how you got really sick off an allergy because a lot of people do. But me, I just get it in my eyes and I sneeze and that's it.
Well, and that's normally what happens to me, but apparently this year is really bad with like the pollen and stuff like that. From what I'm reading. And plus, as someone who uses a DMT, I am in that immunosuppressed category. I do get a little sicker than I normally used to. So, but this one just hit me like out of the blue. It was wild.
I know, I heard you, man. Your voice was, really, what is that called? It was gone. It was like Razzie. Does that make sense? Razzie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm like, hey, what up? Whatever, man. We're human. Let's do that. Let's do it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have been like, hey, how's it going?
It was pretty bad, man. Yeah.
It was so bad.
Maybe people would have been tuned off. So it's a good thing we didn't do that.
Yeah, but our guest is awesome. He will be on. I know you've been talking with him, so we are gonna definitely make up for it. He is gonna be our next guest, right? We're gonna talk to him next week.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I love about MSers, man? I just feel like I know usually I'm not patient, but with other MSers, it's like we understand and the patience. This guy so patient with me, man, and he's cool. He's like, yeah, whatever. We'll do it whenever you want. I'm like, yo, man, I love you. And he's
That's
like, I
good.
love you too. And I'm like, awesome. You want to go on a date? No, I'm just joking. Anyway, no, but for real, that's it, no stress at all, man.
Yeah, I was very much looking forward to talking to him, and I still am, because he's from the States. And I was like, finally, we're getting someone from down by me. I don't know, although he's way further down by me. Where is he from?
Florida?
Florida. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
way further
Florida.
down
Yeah.
than me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be good to talk with him.
Okay. And someone told me, oh, he has a bit of an accent. I'm like, no, no. But you know why? Because Canada, Florida,
Yeah.
and I think someone said, is he South African? I'm like,
Oh
come
no.
on. I don't think so. And if he's listening to this, I apologize, bro.
It's not even on. So yeah, I spent the last 2 weeks just basically recovering. Um, I went on like vocal rest for about 3 days. That was crazy. It was very hard not to speak.
Yeah.
As you know me, I can't stop
I'm worse,
talking.
man. Yo, man. I get it. What did I do this week?
Yeah, what'd you do the last 2 weeks?
The last 2 weeks, man. It's funny because I visited my partners. We went to visit her mom at a home, and it was really funny because as we're leaving, I'm in a wheelchair, and as we're leaving, there's secret like codes to get out because they want to make sure everyone stays in. And as
Yep.
I'm leaving, I can see a staff member staring at me like, "Hey." And then I was like, yo, what if they actually keep me in there? They're like, you can't leave. And I'm like, no, no, no. I don't live here, but I'm young, so they wouldn't mistake me, right? But why can't there be youngers in a wheelchair in a home? Like, what if they don't have family to take care of them? They end up in a home, right?
Well, They do, and I can tell you this. In my past life, when I was working in law enforcement, one of the places that we were responsible for was a long-term care facility, believe it or not. And we did have a gentleman who was, or he was then, I mean, I haven't seen him in years, but he's our age, or he was our age. So we're in our early 40s. He was in his early 40s and he was at this facility. So yeah, I think often we say old age home, but I think that's wrong. This was a long-term care facility. So it
Yeah.
didn't matter age.
Yeah. So I just found it funny. I'm like, what if they stopped me? Sorry, I was sitting down and they came and we're at the dinner table, like, in the home, there's a dinner table set and her mom is there. They're ready to serve her. So they bring the meal and they offer my partner's mom, they offer her, okay, we're going to open it. Do you want us to feed you? And she's like, no, no, I'm okay. And then I looked at the guy, I'm like, well, what about me? Because I'm in a chair. And the guy, he was confused, right? He looked at me, he goes, and then, oh, I'm just joking. And he's like, oh my God, what's wrong with this guy?
Gotta have a
Yeah,
sense of humor going in there.
that's me, man.
Well, that's nice. Did you visit for Mother's Day? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was such a blur of a week.
Yeah.
Um, between my daughter moving home from college and me getting sick, and it just felt like I was moving at 100 miles an hour and going nowhere.
She moved home from college vacation.
Yeah. No, it's done for the year.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Summer break. Yep.
Awesome. Cool. And she's done first year, second year, third year?
First year. First year.
Awesome.
But
Cool.
she is really hitting her stride. So she finished the first year of college, but she finished with more credits than a normal standard. She took way too much. She took more classes. So she's like ahead of the game.
Let me ask you something. Does your daughter know anyone with MS and her friends?
Other than me?
Yeah, yeah. Other than you, of course. Yeah. Does she
um,
have friends? Like, I mean, in school?
I don't I don't think specifically with MS. No, I think
Okay.
I'm the only one. So, but
Cool.
yeah, it's nice having her home and it's nice to be heading towards summer.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of us don't like the heat. I still love it. I know it drains me.
Funny you should say that.
Yeah.
I was just going to bring up the fact that the thing that I don't like is how hot it got, how fast it got so hot because I've had to dig into my summer survival gear, like my full brim hat and my cooling vest. You have one of those cooling vests?
No, I don't.
Oh, highly recommend.
I know. You've talked
Highly
about this
recommend.
before. I know.
Oh, so I've had to break out my cooling vest. Um, so it's a little more planning. It's like, oh, got to check the weather, got to see how long the ice packs will last. If I have to, it's I have to pack a cooler for
Yeah.
my clothing.
That's smart, man. I never even thought of it. You know what I would do is just take a towel, like a chamois,
Uh-huh.
wet it, squeeze it, and just throw it around my neck.
I do that. I do that too.
That's,
I do
you
all
know,
the things.
yeah, yeah.
Um, over this weekend, we went to probably my favorite place on the East Coast, a place called Havre de Grace, Maryland,
How far
and
is
it is
that?
gorgeous. About hour and a half from where I am, hour and a half southwest ish. But
Okay.
it's on the Chesapeake Bay, and it is gorgeous. And they have this amazing promenade. It's this huge boardwalk that hugs the coastline. Um, the town is very, very handicap accessible, very wheelchair friendly, which, except for the lighthouse, because the lighthouse was built in like the 1700s.
Yeah,
So other
yeah,
than that,
of course.
um, oh, like gorgeous wide curb cuts everywhere, nice inclines, like elevators in every building. It's so nice.
Yeah, that's cool. Whenever I see a place accessible, I don't know, it just makes me smile. I know it's weird,
No, I
but
get it. And I'm like, so I guess it's about 3/4 of a mile, maybe a mile from one end to the other. Real wide, like you can get 6 people shoulder to shoulder or, wheel to wheel.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice time. It's a great time. I met a friend down there. I met a guy down there. First thing he says to me, I have no idea who he is. He's at the end. Um, he's at the end of the pier and he's fishing. And I see him, obviously I see the wheels and I'm like, oh, another wheelchair user. Cause you can spot each other from a distance.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I make my way all the way to the end of the pier. And the first thing he says to me out of the blue, he goes, that chair's from New Motion, isn't it? Nothing. Not even hi, not even how's it go. That's from New Motion, right? I said, yep. How'd you know? He goes, because I got one too. I was like, hey, look at that.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, go Canada.
What? Why go
Well,
Canada?
New Motion's a Canadian company.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
okay.
that they're a
Cool.
sponsor, but
Yeah.
if they want
Yeah.
to be,
Well,
reach
they
out.
should. They should. I need a new chair soon too. Just joking. I shouldn't even say that. Anyway.
But no, it
Yeah.
was cool. It was cool catching up with this guy and instant friends.
Awesome. I hear you. I was going down to the coffee shop and I didn't cross the lights yet because it's red light. And across the street, there was another lady in a wheelchair and a cool chair. I call it cool chair because they're, the ones that you have, they're really small.
Hmm.
And she was there and she kind of like, you could tell she was taking her time because she saw me. She
Hmm.
started taking her time. And I'm like, hey, don't make this awkward. Just go. I could tell she was waiting. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, I haven't met anyone else in the area in a wheelchair. So she kind of waited. It was my turn to go. I went. And then we caught up. And she's like, she had a similar chair to me. And same as you, man, instant friends. She was a
Hmm.
lot younger. So I'm like, oh, I felt like an older brother, but it was weird. It was like she was waiting for me. Like all of a sudden we're best friends. And when a scooter drives by
Ah,
me and a scooter waves at me, I'm like, no, don't wave at me, man. We're in different vehicles.
yeah,
You
you're
know,
not different gang.
we're not the same, man. Anyway, yeah.
So yeah, we had a great time this weekend. I highly recommend if you're down this way. Not that you would, make a specific trip to go there, but if you're down this way,
Yeah.
highly recommend Havre de Grace. Well worth it.
And you never know. I've started taking road trips more and more now. Like I
Mm,
just went to Richmond Hill, which is 2 hour drive, about 2.5 hours.
okay.
And it was planned. And usually I have huge anxiety, but I it was amazing. There was no headaches, no anxiety. We got there, had fun, came back, which is funny because when I went halfway, we stopped at a like a gas station. I forget what it's called. It's where everyone stops. There's McDonald's, there's all these food places.
Oh,
And I went to
okay.
use the washroom, and the accessible washroom was amazing. I know it
It's
sounds
it's the
funny.
little it's the little things.
But listen, the bar, like it gave me ideas because there was a bar on the wall that you
Mhm.
swing down. So you have
Okay.
that thing to lift you up. I don't know if
Oh,
anyone's
to
understand what I'm
transfer?
saying. Yeah, but it's like against the wall and it just swivels down.
Okay.
Anyway, when I was going down, the emergency button is right on the wall right here, right next to the bar. That was the only downfall. So
Oh,
I
did you
I
hit
my,
it?
I didn't hit it.
Oh,
I
okay,
I
good.
think it like hit the top of it. But what would it what blah blah blah. What would it do if I pushed it?
I don't know. I would imagine it would call an attendant or get a light going somewhere.
Yeah, but it's not going to call like the fire department.
I don't know.
No
Well, I know.
way.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
You know what? Next time I'm going to
I,
videotape it and I'm going to push it.
okay. Yeah, I've never seen one of those. So it would be interesting.
What if it doesn't even work? What if it's just a
That's true.
anyway? Yeah, that's weird.
Probably goes to some guy who doesn't know. He's like, "What's this blinking light? Let me turn that off." Meanwhile, you're like, "I'm on the floor."
Oh man, it's probably the flush for a toilet in the other room. Dude, do you ever sit there and they automatically flush? It is the worst feeling, man. Because I'm like, if a drip of water touches my ass, I am gone. I'm gonna get a disease of some sort. I can't, bro. It just drives me nuts. I know that was way far, but it freaks me out every time they auto flush, man. That is one thing I hate.
No, I'm with you. I don't know how. I also don't like when the auto flush is so sensitive when you breathe. It's like, oh, flush.
Dude, it's so uncomfortable. I always use my arms and I always get up right away. Even
Mm.
anyway, next. So my thing about going out now is all about transportation.
Okay.
Over here in this area, we have something called Voyager. In Toronto, I think it's called Wheel-Trans. In Ottawa, my buddy Jason always says Para, which is Paratrans, I guess.
Okay.
And every city has their own way of contacting the transportation. Over here, you got to call 3 days in advance.
Whoa.
7 in the morning, the line's open. So it's first serve, first grab, first whatever. So you call 7 in the morning, and hopefully there's an available spot for you for the 3 days from now.
Wow.
So yeah, and it's horrible because when you call, there's like 500 people calling. The lines are busy.
Sure.
I don't know if people are like, hey, hey, dad, hey, brother, hey, cousin, can you guys all call at the same time to get in? Because there is a lineup. And sometimes it's
Yeah.
2 straight hours of busy lines, and I call over 200 times. And there's no use bitching because if you bitch, they put, something on you, like a Seinfeld
Yeah.
episode, right? Like, what did you say? And they write it on your file. And then
Yeah.
they, I don't want that. You know,
Now, can you use that service for any reason?
any reason. It doesn't have to be
Any
medical.
reason.
I can go get a haircut
Okay.
with that service. Yes.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
But you got to know 3 days in advance when you're getting a haircut.
Yes. Yes. 3 days in advance.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's annoying.
It is, man. And I think in Wheel-Trans in Toronto, it used to be, it's different, right? But it's a lot busier. So it's better. But that's why, because it's a lot busier. And the company here isn't even Canadian owned. Now, this was 2 years
Oof.
ago. I read about it. Voyager is owned by a company in France. Weird.
Mm,
They're
mm.
also like in Sweden. I don't know where, but they're in different countries. They use the service Voyager.
Now, what shows up? Like what arrives?
So in Toronto, if you tell them I have a walker or I'm using a cane, they will actually bring a vehicle, like a regular cab vehicle, sedan. But here,
Okay.
it's always an accessibility big van that carries wheelchairs, even if you're coming on with a cane or a walker, you know? Like my friend in Ottawa, Jason always says, "Oh, I'm single ride, I'm alone." Sometimes they pick him up in a car, a sedan car, and then they
Hmm.
pick up other people too. It depends on his routes.
Right.
So once he's like, I'm stuck in the back with two other people, and he's he's a cleanliness kind of guy, like
Uh, okay.
COVID, you don't want to get COVID. I don't know. I'm just,
So when you call Voyager and you say, this is where I want to go. Well, when you get through to somebody, if you're lucky enough,
yeah.
and you say, hey, I'm in a wheelchair, the van shows up for you, right?
I don't even say I'm in a wheelchair. I give them my number and they know who I am.
Oh,
In Toronto, they say, anyway, yes, they already know who I am. So they know I'm going in a wheelchair.
okay.
Yeah. Which is
And the
funny
van
because there
shows
was a
up.
guy that came on the bus. We were picking him up. He came on the
Mhm.
bus and the bus driver dispatched and said, "Up, yeah, he came today without the cane." And the guy who came on without the cane kind of got bitter. And he's like, "Am I supposed to tell you guys every time?" Like, and he's like, "Oh, no, no. We just want to note it just so we know." I don't know, man. I don't know how that makes sense, but
Yeah, well, I guess so that because unfortunately, you can't trust anybody. So they probably have some kind of guideline or protocol somewhere that says you have to notate that stuff so the person can't say, well, the attendant stole my cane or he lost my $600 gold plated cane. You know what I mean?
you're right. I think for insurance purposes too, because when I sit in my chair in the bus, it's so
Hmm.
hard, man. Like the balance, because the bus keeps bumping. Any little bump, you feel it in the chair. And I don't have suspensions on my chair, right? So I sometimes get up and I transfer into the bench, right? And I once did that, and the guy dispatched and said, "Oh, we got Terry. He wanted to sit on the bench." And I'm like, "Oh shit, did I cause a problem?" And he was the one guy that did it. Nobody else did that. So
Huh.
whatever.
Yeah. And again, it's probably an insurance thing.
I think so too. Just being
So if
safe.
yeah, but it's still, I can see as somebody who uses many types of mobility aids, I would kind of feel like my initial reaction would be like, what do you think? I'm lying? Because I don't have my cane today? You know what I mean? Like that's how but then I'd be like, oh, right, insurance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. I
So
think I think every time I would bring a cane, even if I didn't need a cane, just to be like, I
right,
swear I'm sick.
right.
See how easy it is
Yeah.
being in a wheelchair? I'm sorry, man.
I'll tell.
Full time, I
So
mean, you know, like
right,
yeah.
funny you should say that. So my wife takes my picture yesterday when I was on the pier, and I looked at the picture, and it was the first time I had really seen myself, head to wheels, and had put that picture up on Instagram, and I was like, wow, that's really what I look like. And she says, yeah, you actually look a lot happier when you're using your chair. You look uncomfortable when you get your picture taken, like standing up. You look like you're in pain. And I'm like, well, that's because I am in pain when I'm standing up or walking or whatever. And she said, well, use your chair more. You just seem happier. So I don't know.
I love hearing that, man. That's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
saw that picture too. I love that picture, but and I didn't want to comment on it and say you look great, you know what I mean? Because
Well,
it's just a normal picture. I'm like, yeah, that's my buddy.
I, I well, I thank you for that, but I will relay that, and for no reason whatsoever other than my own horrible ego, had I been delaying putting a picture like that up, because it was by far not the first time I've been anywhere with my wheelchair, not even close,
Yeah.
hundreds of times. But that was the first time I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I feel like this week off, these 2 weeks off, gave me the opportunity to like focus on getting better, getting healthy, and really looking at myself like and accepting a whole bunch of stuff, because you and I talk a lot, but I've never taken the time to just listen to the things that I've said.
I hear you, man. It's with all of us. It's harder said than done, right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So putting that up there was like, oh my God, here it goes. I'm now official. It was like now I'm officially the guy who uses a wheelchair. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, this is great. So it's on now.
Dude,
It's on.
I had to move cities to do that.
Right.
So good for you. Honestly, I know it took a while. It really did take you a while, right? Because I guess,
It did.
but good on you.
It did.
You have great support, man. That too.
And I think that's what it is. I think it's hanging out with you and all the groups that I'm in. I'm finally like, you know what? Who am I not, like, why am I hiding this part of me? Like, I didn't hide it because everybody knows that I used it, and I used it, but I didn't put it like into the metaverse, so to speak.
Yeah, that's how I am with my scooter.
Okay.
You will never see a picture with me on my scooter. And every time I have a friend come by, and every time I don't have friends, but every time a friend is like, "Go take the scooter," I'm like, "No, you take the scooter." And they're like, "Oh, if I was there, I would go with you and you'd be on the scooter." Actually, a buddy of mine, Gerald, is like, "When I visit you, I'm taking the scooter with you to Tim Hortons, the coffee shop." I'm like, "Yeah,
Right.
we'll see." Because they always say that. Then when they come, I'm in my chair. I'm like, "Get on the scooter, let's go." And then, no, but I'm not handicapped. Who cares? No one's gonna know. Just like I don't look handicapped. Let's go.
Right.
But yo, because the scooter's not cool. You're in a chair. You look cool. You know?
I feel that way. I feel exactly that way with the scooters at like the Walmart. The one with the or the grocery store, the ones with the basket. Like, I use those.
Did you?
I mean those I use them all the time.
We have, yeah. Yeah, I'm 100% there's people looking at you saying,
Uh-huh.
bastard.
Yeah. Especially me, like, semi
I
fit.
still have an ego, man. I still
Yeah,
do
no, I'm
because
with
I
you.
say I don't, but I can't use my scooter comfortably. Wherever I go, I'm like, you know, I put my legs at an angle so I look cool instead of sitting straight.
I'm letting you know that I I I beat my ego into submission over that photo. That photo going up took a lot,
Normal.
and I'm glad I did.
You look good. You need a tan.
Thank you.
Just joking. You look good, bro. You really like there was
Thank you.
nothing to, you know,
Right. I don't know why it took me so long.
it's an ego thing. I get it.
Yeah. I did recently acquire probably the coolest mobility aid, if you want to think of it that way. I got myself I have about 3/4 of an acre at my house that I have to maintain, and I did get a zero turn lawnmower, one of those commercial sized push and pull, not a tractor, like a no joke lawn machine.
I'm
It's
sorry.
probably the coolest mobility aid ever.
Like, I mean, just to cut your lawn. You don't go in public with that, do you?
Oh no,
Okay.
no, just to cut the lawn.
Just
But what it did was
yeah.
it it saved me probably, I don't know, probably like 2 miles worth of walking because you know you got to go up and back and up and back and up and back.
Yeah. You
So
talk
now I don't
about
have
a
to do that.
lawnmower?
Yeah, like a ride on zero turn. You know what a zero turn is?
I
The ones
get,
with the
I'm
handles,
assuming.
not a tractor. It's like
Are you
got the
are you walking on it?
no, no,
I
no. You
mean,
sit down
yeah, okay, that's what I figured. So like a lawnmower. I don't know why you just don't call it a lawnmower.
because I paid a lot of money to call it a zero
I'm
turn.
sorry, bro.
That's why.
I've never had, I've never cut a lawn before. And I'm glad I'm in a
Oh
wheelchair
wow,
because
really?
nobody asks me to shovel,
Right.
you know.
Anyway, this thing's badass. It's
Cool.
probably
I'm
my
gonna
favorite
see a picture
mobility
of it.
aid.
After this, I'm gonna check it out. I don't mean to
You will. No,
disregard it,
no, it's
but I
fine.
just don't know that shit.
Those those that know how cool that
So those who know are like, Terry, you're an idiot. Zero
is.
turn. Okay. All right.
Comment. Hit us, send us an email.
Yes, please let us know. And in case you forgot, info at 40belowzero.com, 40belowzero.com.
There it, there it is.
Yeah.
Um, we have we have a similar down here. We have a very similar service to come pick you up if you need it. It's run by an organization called SEPTA, which stands for Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the acronym
So
again?
you
I mean, what's the letters?
SEPTA, SEPTA.
SEPTA. Okay.
Mhm.
That's a company too, no? Anyway, it just sounds familiar.
So same setup, but it's not a private company. It's a public entity. It's a public thing.
Okay.
So they're the ones that run the trolleys and the buses and the trains, but they have a service where you can do the same thing. You can but you can do it online. And it's not a 3 day wait. They just let you know if it's available or not right away. And you can usually do it the day before. You don't need a 3 day period. And that's of course after you jump through all the hoops and set up an account and get your card and all that stuff that you got to do. So,
That
so I'm familiar with that kind of a service.
Same with Toronto. It's usually you can do it a day before. Like they're a lot busier, so it's different and online. And mine
Right.
has an app where you can see where the buses are, but the app has been down for like 2 weeks. Don't ask.
Yep. So we got the same kind of setup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think it's very helpful for those that need it. I'm fortunate enough that I don't because I can still drive a little bit.
Oh, my partner has a SUV. We can put the chair right in, but during her work hours, sometimes I want to be independent.
Oh yeah,
So I'll do
sure.
my, yeah,
Yep.
and it's cool because they take um bus tickets. So it's
Really?
not like I got to pay them anything more. I just have bus tickets. So you think it was run by the government of this or by the
Hmm.
city. You know what I mean? Because you're using
Right.
bus tickets, but I know that company is privately owned, so they must have a contract. But I can also make it and have a caregiver come with me. Someone said it was for free, but no, I'm pretty sure they have to pay a bus ticket. And so I was like, hey, if you ever want to go drinking somewhere and you don't want to drive, I'll just take the bus. Like it's straight there, back. Anyway,
That's awesome.
yeah, I think so. Even though we're not much drinkers, I'm just saying, like it would be
Right.
a perfect,
Yeah, you still want to feel like you're in the in crowd going out
it'd be kind of
to the
embarrassing. Like,
spots.
yeah, okay. Yeah. You go outside the bar and then you're getting picked up and yeah.
Eh,
Because when they
it
pick
is
you
what it
up,
is.
your chair goes on the ramp and they lift you up.
Oh, okay. It's a lift.
And I always feel like a whale, like they're lifting you up.
Eh,
Yeah, no, no, it's not a ramp if that's what you're about to say.
yep.
No, it's a lift. And when you go up, like they put you in a seatbelt and it goes up slowly. And as you go
Yeah.
up, I'm always like, whoa, whoa, I'm scared of heights. And they're like, I'm like, just anyway. And I feel like a whale, like everyone's staring at, oh, look at him. And I go up and
Yeah.
it's so slow and you just wave at everyone like, hi. So are you ready for the summer?
Uh, I am definitely ready for the summer. I'm very prepared for big things happening. My other daughter graduates high school in 2 weeks. So I will have two adults outside of high school.
Getting old.
It's very different. I am getting
I'm
old.
sorry, I don't mean to say that to you, man. Just
No, it's okay. I started young. I didn't I
it,
started very young in my early 20s, so,
it doesn't matter how old you are, man. Once you say my second one is out of high school, you're getting old. I don't care if you're 32, bro, or if you're 59, you've
yep,
aged yourself with that.
I have.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a change in I don't know, not status in life, but station in life, I guess is a better word. Um, it's coming to grips with the fact that I raised two independent young ladies who
Yeah.
are out there getting it done. It's nice, but at some level you're like, wish they would call. And I know a lot of people out there know that.
Yeah.
They don't need that as much as they did.
Yeah.
So
That's the way of life.
yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
So what else did you have on your list?
So, I work out and I hate talking about workout. I think I've mentioned this before. I hate talking about me working out or stuff because I never want to brag. And I'm not telling
Okay.
people, hey, I work out. I am fit.
What you bench, bro? No.
Exactly. It's funny because and again, I'm not
Okay.
bragging. It's what I'm saying is, and I'm really good at my fitness. My
Mhm.
nutrition, I want to say I'm 92%, because I'm humble. I'll tell you I'm 100, but I'm not because once in a while I'll still get my coffee and once in a while, you know what I mean? So I'm not 100, but I'm really health conscious. I don't eat shit food anymore. Usually eat at home, all that crap. Dude, I didn't see a friend of mine because of the wintertime. I hibernate. I saw a friend of
Mhm.
mine just yesterday. Dude, he's jacked. And
Mhm.
and I'm like, fuck, what happened to me? I've been doing this for like a year and a half, 2 years. And yeah, I love my body. I think I'm looking better, bro. But what is it? I'm not eating enough. And
You're not seeing those gains, huh?
it's frustrating, man. And I can't tell my trainer that because he'll be like, just shut up and keep moving.
If I had the answer for that, I would say I wouldn't be talking to you. I'd be hosting fitness seminars.
Dude, you were huge once. You were buffed.
I was, but uh, my secret to success back then was most of it, I think, was probably just whey protein water weight. I mean, I was eating whey protein like it was my job. They know those big tubs you can get.
I
They're
get it,
probably
bro.
not,
I'm there.
yeah, they're probably not healthy for you. I was eating like so many of those milkshakes constantly. And I was working out five days a week. I was in the gym,
That's what it
and I was
is.
just well. And the other thing, well, I, I probably had exactly the wrong mentality. Like I would go into the gym with the mentality of I will lift 5 pounds more than I did last week, and I will do it until my arm collapses, like or my arm gives out. Like I did everything to what do they call it? Everything to failure. So if I was doing squats, I would go until I couldn't squat anymore.
I get it.
Then I'd wait 5 minutes and I'd do another set until I failed. So I was basically like very angry with the way that I was skinny, like not skinny, but scrawny,
Yeah,
in my
yeah, yeah.
opinion.
I know what you're saying.
And I'm like, I'm just gonna going until I drop. So
I
this
hear you.
probably was not healthy.
I think everybody has their own style.
Yeah, I just hated the way. Um, and I did a lot of um I think it's called kinetic exercising. I don't know if that's the right word. So if I'm wrong, somebody please let me know. I would take, let's say, a 10-pound weight or a 5-pound weight, nothing crazy.
Yep.
And I would extend my arm and I would hold it. I would hold it, hold it, hold it, and not move it, not lift the weight, not curl the weight. I would just hold it until my arm dropped.
Yes, examples include squats, deadlifts, lunges, power cleans, and leg presses. They concentrate on a contraction of the quadriceps or whatever. So you
Yeah.
it's a form of that, yeah,
Okay.
because you're
Um,
holding it, right?
yep.
That's what you said.
Yep. Yep. And I would and at the time I was a member of I was a member of my department's response team. So I would take two 10 pound, 10 or 15 pound, dumbbells, and I would hold them in a position like I would be holding my firearm, and I would just hold them there. And everybody would look at me at the gym because I have these two little weights that I'm holding at like shoulder length, like a rifle.
Oh boy.
And I would hold them until my arms, let go naturally, like, say about a minute or two, and then they would drop, and then I would do it again. And I would do that like 5 or 6 times. But I was trying to get my body used to holding my gear in a position that I would have to at work for long periods of time.
Did anybody else
And
do that exercise?
not, no, actually, when I started doing stuff like that, people would walk away. They wouldn't stick around because they're like, who's this? Because I wouldn't curl the weight endlessly. I would just literally hold it.
Yeah.
And I would do pull-ups I did a lot of pull-ups with the backpack on. I'd put the 40 pound, 40
Uh-huh.
pounds in my backpack and just start doing pull-ups, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of like repetitious, just again and again and again. I was in pain a lot because I was doing it wrong. I had no trainer. I was just going for it.
Yeah. Yeah. My trainer makes me do a lot of band work. I mean, we have some weights, but a lot of
Hmm.
band work. And he's all about you want to do this for the next 50 years. You don't want to just
Right.
bulk up and then 1 year later you're going through an injury. He's like, you
Yep.
want to continue this for the next 50 years to keep your body going. And I'm like, totally, man. I get what he's doing. And that's why I
Hmm.
don't care about bulking up like my buddy, because he probably really, maybe he's doing it the safe way. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
blood
I can
flow.
tell you,
Yeah.
I definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
I
I've
certainly was not.
I've taken creatine the unhealthy way. Do you know creatine?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've
Oh
done all
yeah.
that shit. Like, yeah, I had two hernias. I don't know if it's from that
Uh,
working out or just weak muscles, whatever.
but also at the same time, I was volunteer firefighter, and when you are in the fire service, there is a lot of heavy physical stuff to do. So just the everyday doing, rolling the hose or, like on and on and on, doing truck checks, picking up tools, practicing, you're endlessly practicing.
Yeah,
So, especially if you run a rescue crew or with a rescue company and you have, uh, we call them the hearse tools, but the jaws of life as they're known,
yeah,
that's heavy stuff. So you have to be able to like manipulate it. Um, so eventually you just get stronger because of repetition.
of
So, and then
course.
once all that stopped, it was like, yoink.
Yeah.
It all just, I stopped taking the whey protein and it was like, oh, there go all your muscles.
Did people comment like, "Whoa, you lost a lot of weight," or and did that hurt you when people said it?
No, because I lost it over a period of 2 years. So it's not like I just kind of like evaporated.
Yeah, I get
Uh,
you.
so people that I haven't seen in a while, they're like, whoa, dude, what happened? I'm like, dude, the MS, like,
But I thought you were okay,
sometimes,
bro.
yeah, you look so good. Yes, but you look good.
Yeah,
Oh God,
yeah. I told you I used
always
to
get
do
that one.
pull-ups. I used to be so proud of my pull-ups. And then I stopped for 2 years, and then I moved
Right.
here and I put my pull-up bar back up. Dude, I couldn't even do one.
Yep.
But I'm not even big. I'm still this small guy, but my muscle was gone. And
Yep.
2 years later, I'm doing two, three.
I I will say what I do now is I do a lot of push-ups
I,
and a lot of sit-up crunches, core work.
bro, I used to do push-ups. That's how I originally started because my trainer is like, do 200 push-ups in a day. All day, try to do 200, 10 here, 10 there. And I couldn't do 200. You think you can. You're like, oh, that's easy. I'll do 20, 20, 20. But by the time your chest is, and you're feeling it.
Oh yeah.
And that's how I originally started. And I love to do push-ups. I have lower back spasms, and it's not even
Mm.
spasms like you think. Like it's just continuously tensed. And it won't allow me to do pull-ups. It won't allow me to do push-ups because my legs just collapse. Anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, that's
Like
the thing that people don't realize is they want to, a lot of us, a lot of MSers want to be healthy, want to exercise, want to do all these things, but then how can you do 200 push-ups to get back to where you were when you can't even straighten your back up some days?
exactly. And I feel like I'm like, when I went to do that climbing, the mountain climbing, the rock climbing,
Yeah, yeah, the
wall
rock
climbing,
climbing, yeah.
whatever it's called. And I felt so weak and I kept going, guys, it's my back. It's my back. It's not letting me. But I feel like people are like, no, you're just weak. It's like, no, I'm not.
Uh,
I promise you. But, what can I do?
I
My
feel
back.
I feel that way. Do I want to I don't ever want to skip leg day like anybody else. They always say don't skip leg day. However, if you're a person like me, where going from 20 feet across the room is the total leg you can do, how are you going to get on a treadmill? You know what I mean? You're not. I'm not. I haven't.
People are
So,
going to suggest the dumbest things to you, like, here, why don't you get one of those bike things and just push your feet, push it,
right,
pedal,
right.
sorry. Anyway, yeah, I get that all the time.
Yeah.
I get stuff like that. And
I was gonna say, what's the worst or not worst? I was like, what's the strangest advice that you've gotten to help quote unquote get you out of the wheelchair? Unquote.
I don't think anyone ever gives me, that's the closest thing, the pedal bike. A friend of
Okay.
mine's like, "Oh, you need to keep your feet moving, bro." I'm like, "What do you want me to do? Get one of those pedals and just pedal. Anything will help you." And I did it,
Yeah.
bro. I went and bought it from Amazon for like 60 bucks. I don't know, Canadian, by the way, which is like 42.99 American. And I bought it. And I'm like, you know why I bought it? Because if I didn't, I would feel like I'm not trying and I'm failing him. So I
Right.
got it and I couldn't, and I'm like, should I just use my hands and keep my arms strong? But I do other stuff for my arms because I couldn't do it. I couldn't push it. It made no
Right.
sense. I just bought it and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
don't listen to anybody, man. It
No.
this is
Mm-mm.
this is my mistake.
So out there, whoever, if you're listening to this, do what works for you. Seek the advice of like Terry has his trainer and he has his what do they call not a stretcher?
She's much more than a stretch therapist. I just call her a
Okay,
stretch therapist. She has much more talents, but
gotcha.
that's all I need, because I can't
Yeah,
move my legs certain ways.
yeah. So follow the advice of those people. They went to school
Yes,
to
definitely.
figure out how to do it. Don't be like us.
Yep. Yep. This is great, man. This is so therapeutic to me. I love these chats. The
Yes,
two
I
weeks
agree.
gone by, it's like, oh man, this is, I look forward to these. I really do.
Me as well, because I was starting to feel it too. I was like, oh man, I feel like I'm missing something. And what am I missing? Oh, that's right. I haven't talked to Terry for real. Like we messaged back and forth, but it's
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
oh man.
Yeah. Well, welcome back. Welcome
Oh,
your voice back.
you as well. Thank you. It's good
Nice.
to be back.
Awesome. For sure. I can't wait for our
Uh,
guest next week. Stay tuned.
so speaking of traveling, something I came across here. Hang on, let me bring this up. Let me bring this up. There's a crazy piece of legislation going around down here. Um, give me 2 seconds. So there's a woman, she is a senator, and she's introducing a bill down here um, to make it so that your a person's wheelchair is not considered luggage on an airplane. I don't know if you know that.
Uh,
Have you heard that?
yes. I,
Which is wild.
I don't know details, but I've been hearing this from a few people now.
So the way it stands now is if people like yourself and myself, if we're going to travel on an airline, you have to transfer from your chair into the airline's chair. An attendant will wheel you to your seat. You then have to transfer from their chair to your seat on the airplane and reverse the process to get off. All the while, your personal wheelchair is under the airplane, tagged as luggage.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you,
Yeah.
do you consider your wheelchair luggage?
Yeah. I mean, of course not. You know that. I'm trying to
I
be
know that.
humble with my answer. Like,
Don't be humble. This is your show.
yeah, no, of course not. Yeah, no.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's like if I was an amputee and I had a fake leg. Is that right?
Right.
Did I insult someone by saying fake leg? But anyway,
Prosthetic.
prosthetic, thank you.
You're
This is
welcome.
why you're like anyway, if I had a prosthetic leg, do I have to check that in?
Right.
Would they be like, oh, you can't be there might be something in that. We gotta put it through the scanner. Do they have to put it through the scanner?
They definitely will investigate it. I have personally investigated
Really?
many a wheelchair. Yep. And as a matter of fact, the last time I was in the courthouse, my wheelchair was investigated. And not necessarily through the x-ray machine, but definitely inspected by the officer, or in this case, the TSA agent.
Oh, all right.
Because you got to remember the mentality. The mentality is everyone is going to do harm to everyone else. We trust no one.
I
So
understand that.
I used to have a T-shirt that had my department logo on it, and it said, "In God we trust. Everyone else goes through the metal detector."
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
so, so the point is, the senator is pushing a bill so that
Nice.
the aircraft or the airline companies would have to adopt fold away seats. So the seat would fold into the airplane, and you or myself or anybody else would just wheel themselves right in and anchor their chair to the aircraft,
I heard
which I think is so much better.
I really, really I heard that. I don't know from who, but I heard that and I was just like, yeah, that's in like 30 years. Because they're
I hope
adjusting the
she gets
plane.
it
They're
passed.
removing seats. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and the reason why they haven't done it yet is because it's not there's no money. It's money.
Yeah.
It costs money,
Hmm.
and that's the great motivator for anything.
Yeah.
Um, so hopefully she gets it passed through. So if you're in the States and you want to write political,
Yeah.
if you want to write your senator and say you should support this bill, um, I think it's way past time.
Yeah. We've all heard the stories of them damaging our equipment or whatnot. I have a friend who went to Mexico 3 months ago and his scooter was damaged. They ended up fixing it. They ended up buying him a new scooter because there was some damage
Right.
that happened and it took 2, 3 weeks maybe, but
And within those 2, 3 weeks, first of all, your trip's trashed, your trip's done because you lost the ability to be mobile to
anxiety,
some
man.
degree. Oh,
Anxiety to
that
the fullest.
yeah. So honestly, like if you look at these seats, if you Google these seats, it really looks like a minivan where like the floor opens up and the seat disappears and the floor goes back and then there's just anchors. Like why don't we put five of those on a plane? You know?
Money, 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 money.
Oh yeah.
I hear you. That would be awesome. Like in a bus, over here, they move the seats, whatever side. And if they're sitting in it, people are sitting there. They say you need to move seats. They move, then they flip the side up, the bus seats up, and you
Mhm.
go. Now there's empty space. Oh man, I don't even know if I'm speaking properly.
No,
Now
you're right.
there's
I'm with you.
and you go into this empty space, and then they hook you down and they give you a seatbelt that goes around you.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they do? They modified like 2 square feet of a bus,
Ex-
or in this case, one chair on one seat on an airplane.
Yep. Exactly what you were
So
saying.
hopefully they get it passed. Hopefully, because it, not that I fly very often, but I know that there's people that do, and I know that there's people that don't because of that.
You know what?
Because you,
My buddy's Elon Musk. I'll just ask him to help us out.
oh yeah, okay, just at him, just hit him up.
Yep. Uh,
But no, that's my transportation spiel for the day. Now that you brought up that, I was waiting to talk about that one.
awesome. Yeah. I'm just curious, like, um, is there any other country that is really much more developed than North America? Like, am I going to find out Sweden has, everything done online? You just, I don't know, you just text a company what day and you're, no matter what, you have a ride.
I would not be surprised. There are countries out there that are way more tuned in
Wow.
to a diversity of people. I'll have to look at it, and we'll talk about that one next time
Cool.
probably,
Mhm.
but we'll look into it. But I just wanted to bring that up. So with the planes,
Yeah.
because that's a big one for transportation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not many things make me angry, but the fact of someone having to get out of their chair to have their chair stored and thrown, you know what I mean? Like, come on, we could do better.
I want to get a shirt that says, I don't stand for nobody. Because
Nice.
sometimes they're like, try, can you? And I'm like, dude, and I can stand up, I can pivot, but I don't want to do that for anybody.
Yeah, but here's my question.
Yeah.
You have the ability to, but what does that expose you to if you do that? Does that expose you to falling, to injury? Like, what you tell me.
Not only is it tough, man, it really is. Like I'm using so much stamina, so much power just to stand up. And when I
Mhm.
sit down, it's just a relief because of all that stress on my legs and if falling down, a risk of falling down. 100%. My knees will buckle, and I don't mind falling down. I'm not going to get hurt, but
Yeah,
then
but you shouldn't put you assume you're not going to get hurt because you haven't gotten hurt in the past.
yeah, you're right. And it's all that energy, man. It's not worth,
Mm-hmm.
exerting all that energy for somebody to be like,
Nope.
hey, can you just, it's like, no, I'm not standing for nobody. If you want me to go with, anyway, yes, we're going to go into
No,
another
exactly.
vent session.
That's
You
fine.
know me, I'll go.
But I'm on board with you. You are no one is under any obligation to put themselves at risk for somebody else's convenience. It's just you're not required. And
Exactly.
I agree with you. So we'll have to get on those t-shirts.
Awesome. No doubt.
We'll have to reach out to our somebody who does merch and get merch made from 40 below zero that says I stand for no one.
Awesome. Awesome. Who's that gonna be?
I don't know. I'll
Oh,
have to
okay. We're
work
gonna
on it.
have to find that. Okay.
Yeah. So if anybody knows anybody,
If I really respect you, I say I'm gonna stand up for you and give you a hug. And then there's
nice.
a few people I'm like, I need to give you a hug, and I'll just stand up and they'll look at me like, yo, sit down, sit down. You don't look, it doesn't look graceful because I feel like a zombie. I'm like, come here, I'm giving you a hug, dude.
Do not run away, human.
Because when you're in a chair and they want to give you a hug, because sometimes people are like, oh, come here. And you're in a
Yeah,
chair, they're coming down. So I
right.
feel guilty because their backs are, and they're coming down, giving me a hug. And I'm like, okay, you're good. Get up. You're good.
Did anybody ever say to you, don't get up? They're like, oh, don't get up. You ever say that?
No, but when someone delivered something to me once, I'm like, all right, thank you. Drive safe. And the guy goes, you too. And I'm like, all right. And you could tell the guy's like, shit, did I just say that to him? Yeah.
Nice. Well, it's good to be back, man. Next week we're back on the guests, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna schedule. He's the guy we were gonna talk to, right?
Yes.
He awesome.
Yes. Yes. Same guy.
All right. Well, I look forward to hearing from that guy. Terry, pleasure as always.
Always.
And we'll talk soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll talk to you soon, man. So check us out at 40belowzero.com. That's 4 letter T below zero.com. or feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is info@40belowzero.com. Our personal Instagram account are, for Nix, it's NIX_V713. Or for Terry, it's what's_MS. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. We'll talk soon.